Welcome aboard the Seatbelt Sign podcast. We've been cleared for takeoff.
Let's talk about a bunch of the new incidences going on in the news right now. So we got the Delta Diddler. You heard about him?
No, the Delta Diddler is a new one. The Delta thing that I heard recently was about this jabroni that tried to sneak on with
pilot.
a 1.75 liter handle of Phillips.
Yeah, and he was
lower
also
than bottom shelf vodka.
And he was also intoxicated. Yeah, so we got the Delta Drinker, we got the Delta Diddler. I was going to ask you maybe your thoughts on the India crash and then also on the Cirrus crash. So we got two Delta bad doers, and we got two crashes to talk about today.
Well, let's start with you and the Diddler, because I don't know about the Diddler.
I don't know about the Diddler either. We can Google what happened. Everybody on the internet's making fun of him. I think there was a situation where he went into the bathroom or something. There was a similar story about a real creep on an airline a few years ago where he would go into bathrooms and set up a camera, and he would photograph women in there using the bathroom. And eventually a minor was photographed, and she was the one that found the camera, and this guy went to prison. So we got some weirdos out there in the world, and
maybe somebody that has a lot of hardware expertise that now has a lot of free time could give us some pointers.
Yeah,
because we're struggling over here.
Yeah, hey guy that was setting up that camera, if you want to be our chief technology officer on our podcast, we'd really appreciate your insight to technology.
I know you're making 17 cents an hour these days, but we'll
bump it up to 25. Yeah, $1 an hour.
Wow, yeah. That'll go far in the commissary.
Yeah, just feel free to email us if you have email, the seatbeltsignpodcast@gmail.com. If you're listening, Mr. Guy in prison.
Yeah, but if he's in there for some minor related stuff, he probably doesn't have
iPad access.
No, probably doesn't have access to much right now, because I hear the Diddlers don't do well.
I also have heard the same, and good. I think that's what they deserve.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on from the Delta Diddler. Hey, bud.
Who we know nothing about.
Yeah,
that
we don't know
just
squat.
assumed is now being diddled in prison.
Yeah. We'll get our assistant to go Google that in the meantime. So this guy that was getting on a plane just schmammered. It's not the first incident. It happens, I guess, a couple of times a year everywhere. What do you think that is? Because we're both pilots, and me personally, if I'm feeling any kind of way that isn't 100%, I don't even want to be seen at the airport.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've met a lot of drinkers in aviation, and I think that it's because it's a little bit of a tough lifestyle. I mean, you can be on the road. You don't have set hours, so it's kind of sometimes behind the clock. You don't have a normal circadian rhythm. It's tough on you emotionally sometimes. So, I mean, it's not for everybody's mindset. And there are plenty of avenues that can come out in terms of substances, but the only one that you can get away with as a pilot is alcohol, which is probably arguably the most destructive. Because
most unhealthy.
Yeah, I mean, if there'd probably be a lot more people in aviation smoking weed if they could pass a drug test,
right,
and not worry about it. Then they probably wouldn't be dealing with sneaking onto the plane intoxicated.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that alcohol is a very prevalent thing in aviation. At least in my experience, it's been. I haven't, experienced that in the 121 world, because I haven't been in the 121 world. But just being 91 and 135, I've seen a ton of it there, which I would assume is still the same in the 121 world.
Oh yeah, definitely. My buddy, he flies for a major, and their first year as a first officer, the captain pays for everything. That's company culture.
As it should, because first year FO doesn't make jack.
Well, he's at a major. He's still making pretty good. But so the
relative
captain,
to the captain, I should say.
Yeah, he told me him and the captain went out for drinks on a 48-hour layover when they got in, and he tried to pay for round 2, and the captain was like, "That's insulting. Put your money away." So alcohol, definitely prevalent in the business, but I don't know if it's just a personal thing, But me, if I'm just a passenger, let's say I'm going on Southwest Airlines or God forbid Spirit or one of these, real clunkers. Yeah, I'm going to have a couple of drinks at the airport bar because I'm 3 hours early, right? Or my flight's 3 hours delayed if I'm on a Spirit or, similar.
Yeah, I mean, as a passenger, well, if you're flying Spirit, then obviously you want to drink because you don't want to feel the impact. But,
yeah, when you crash and burn. But I guess, as a pilot, I'm drinking in the airport lounge. I'm boarding the flight. Me personally, I go all the way to the back of the plane. Like, I don't even want people to know that I'm a pilot if I've had any alcohol at all, because I don't want to assume any kind of responsibility. So therefore, I don't understand how guys like this can knowingly be intoxicated and be like, yeah, I'm just going to go fly the plane. It's not a big fucking deal. I got my jug of alcohol right here. It's going to cure my hangover or whatever stuff that guy was dealing with. Like, I just don't understand the mindset.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I don't get it either. I've never, ever had any inclination to approach an aircraft anywhere close to intoxicated. I mean, if I've certainly had alcohol after I've gotten done flying.
Oh, hell yeah. Especially after a stressful, long day. But
I've never even been within 8 hours bottle to throttle, just because I know that it's going to deteriorate my sleep and impact my performance the next day if I don't sleep well. So especially an early morning flight, not even going to consider it.
Yeah, and this is probably even super square to say, like, over the top. But I remember back in my private pilot days, I had some NyQuil because I wasn't feeling great. And that Dayquil stuff, it doesn't really do the same. Then I got a call, hey, you need to come to the airport because you have the keys of the airplane. And I was like, oh, shit. Well, they were moving it for a bad hailstorm that was about to hit. And they're like, we need you to taxi the plane. And I was like, guys, I don't think I should. I had NyQuil. And everybody's like, you're a bitch. Just fucking jump in it and just taxi it over to the hangar. And I was like, I think it's against regulation. I don't think I should do this. So, yeah, again, just back to my mindset versus these guys. And I think we can push this even further and talk about, remember the guy that was tripping on mushrooms and he sat jump seat? Did you hear the story?
That was so good. That Alaska pilot?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was jump seating after he had done shrooms for the first time in his life. And he was with a group of guys. They were like celebrating the loss of a friend.
Yeah, fellow pilot.
Like, yeah, so
died really young from a heart attack.
What better way to honor him than to
some
dabble in psychedelics for the first time? Yeah, and unknown dosing that you certainly can't gauge against the scale for your body weight that your doctor provided you.
Yeah.
So, and then knowing that you're going to be on a turn here in the next what was it, like 48 hours, something like that, 36, 48 hours?
No, he was just. I saw the 60 minutes on it. He was just going home, and he was able to ride jump seat to go home. He was like not going to work or anything.
Oh, so he wasn't even like in company colors.
No,
I didn't realize that you could.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly clothes either, but he was using his known crew member and he was riding jump seat, but he was just going home after this little vacation with some friends and he was still feeling the side effects. Again, bro.
Because he also hadn't slept, as I understand it, that entire time.
Right. And so
what the fuck?
He claimed that he didn't know what was real, what was fake. And so he reached up to extinguish both engines because trying to wake himself up from the dream. And the pilots were like, what the hell? Bro, again, you're not feeling right. Go sit in the back of the airplane. Go sit in the toilet. That's how I feel. I don't want anybody to know that I'm a pilot. If I'm not feeling 100%, I keep my head down. I don't talk to anybody and I sit in the back.
Yeah. And I mean, dude, you had enough money to get a fucking seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's so silly.
I feel for the guy because what a glorious way to end your career and just have your face plastered everywhere. I mean, that's game over.
The saddest part about that 60 Minutes is they present the whole thing as he is the number one case study as to why we need to have mental health awareness for pilots and why we should be allowed to go and see psychiatrists and possibly even be prescribed medication to help with your mental state or any kind of depression or stress that you're going through because it's a highly stressful job. Right. So
100%.
But at the very end, and they talk about how he was given like 68 felony
Attempts of murder.
Yeah, manslaughter, charges, and he was in prison for like 30 days before he got released. And he ends the documentary with, "I really hope one day I'll be able to fly again." And I'm like, bro, you are never touching the cockpit. You're not even going to go fly a little trainer Cessna.
Was he talking about Microsoft Flight Simulator?
Yeah, probably. But this guy was delusional. Those mushrooms are still kicking in.
Him flying a paper airplane would be about it.
Yeah, that guy is... Sorry, bud, you're done.
Yeah, no, man, that's cooked.
Yeah.
Game over, son.
Yeah, it was just stupid.
But honestly, I hate it for him, but I don't have any qualms about somebody like that. When you bust that hard, yeah, I mean, no.
Yeah.
You don't get to play again. Wish you the best.
There's for certain things, there's no 3 strikes in aviation.
Yeah. Maybe with guy who had the alcohol problem, like, okay, maybe there's some path to redemption there, but not trying to
turn engines off on an airliner with all these people on board. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to imply that like the alcohol one is kind of lean. I mean, that's pretty rough. I mean, that's the public safety. There's a ton of liability there. I mean, it's already, to consider that as a solo pilot, that would be irresponsible enough. But when you have the paying public and that kind of equipment as well, the amount of damage that can cause, no.
So I think that's the perfect segue to talk about this Air India crash. Have you heard anything, seen anything about this?
Oh, absolutely. The first Dreamliner hull loss.
Yeah. And even worse.
I'm sure Boeing really appreciated that one.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember. Did it crash into a school or into a hospital?
Hospital, I thought.
Yeah, I think it was a hospital, right? So even worse. Not only do we kill everybody on board, but the place where we're supposed to fix sick people, we just blew that thing up.
Yeah. And
So,
the poor one bastard that walked away.
the one guy.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
So, what do you think? That Boeing just needs to stop selling airplanes to the developing world?
I think they just need to fucking build them the way that they're supposed to. They're not supposed to cut corners. Remember they had the Boeing whistleblower, and he came out and he said, like, they told us to go and get parts from the junk bin that were not up to code because they had this hard date. They had to push. They had to get this airplane delivered. And he was like all in the media for a month, and then he mysteriously died in his car all by himself after like having done an interview the day before and having like 3 interviews scheduled that week. But he just mysteriously suicided himself.
Yeah, I have noticed that a lot of the Boeing whistleblowers have acute extreme medical conditions.
Yeah.
All proximal to their testimony.
Yes. So, what's going on here?
And I have nothing against Airbus, but it's just not as cool a storied history as Boeing. And Boeing has, I mean, would there be Airbus without Boeing? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But Boeing really has been the industry leader in that segment. And they really are the innovator. I mean, like Dreamliner, that was so far ahead. I mean, A350, I know Airbus likes to say, it's not a competitor to the Dreamliner. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to layman or passenger, it sure feels like it. It's, composite wide body that was developed very similarly to the Dreamliner. I don't know. But I don't like to see them in the position that they are. A lot of people try to say that it was the McDonnell-Douglas merger that things, trace back to when they fell apart for Boeing. And they became a corporate company as opposed to the engineering company that they held their hat on. I absolutely think there is another piece of the puzzle. I can't say that the Air India crash is related to this, but you look at the Lion Air and was it Ethiopian Air? What was the other one? The two MAX crashes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember airline though.
And there were real questions about the experience that the crews had, or at least the right seat guys did, and what kind of training they had during that time frame. So while there were issues for U.S. domestic operators with the MAX, they never had any hull losses, because any time that they had MCAS taking over doing erratic stuff, they knew you just flip the guarded switches, disable the automation, and boom, you're back at it. That doesn't dismiss the corners that Boeing cut in that automation and removing some of the redundancy with I don't remember exactly which sensors it was, but previous generations, like the 737NG, had redundancy, and they had eliminated that going into this, while they also had the MCAS augmentation that they didn't tell crews about. So that's 100% on Boeing. But at the same time, there was the pilot experience and training, whereas domestic operators, they knew what to do when the automation didn't do what it was supposed to do, or didn't do what they expected it to do. These other crews did not do that, and I think that's a factor. But I mean, you're not going to hear anybody talk about that. I know Boeing tried to a little bit, but they were like, "Oh, Boeing, you're racist. You can't blame the victims." And I mean, that's a fair critique. They're not in the position that they can, considering the corners that they had just cut. But us, maybe we can ask some questions.
Oh yeah, for sure. And one thought that pops into my mind always with any of these is kind of like Final Destination. Was it just your time to go? We look at this Air India, everybody dies. One guy miraculously just survives the craziest thing. Maybe it just wasn't his time.
Mr. Glass.
Yeah. Is that ever a factor involved? I don't know, because sometimes you see these like crazy incidences where everybody should have died and a few people survived, and they weren't even in the best part of the airplane. Like the lady who gets sucked out of a plane at like 26,000 feet, and she fell all the way, landed in the Everglades.
Yeah.
And I think either she got knocked unconscious or she was drunk or something. And because of her unconsciousness, she didn't tense up when she fell. And she had like only a few broken bones.
That's why you should always drink as a passenger.
Yeah, just get
You
hammered.
won't be tense.
Get super hammered, yeah. Again, back to the drinking thing. I always think, well, if I'm drunk on this plane and like the stewardess runs back and is like, "Do we have a pilot on board? Do we have an emergency?" You're like, maybe I shouldn't drink, because then in that emergency I get to live my lifelong dream of landing. You know what? I've been to the training. I've seen that jet. There is no way in hell I know what I'm doing. There's too many buttons and switches, and even the most minor things, like I don't even know how to work the radio.
I'm kind of the opposite though. If something's going haywire, then 100%, like I'm ready to storm the cockpit. I'm ready to go.
I used to be, dude, but now I'm like, you know what? I'm
not saying that I know what I'm doing when I get up there, but
you're taking a chance.
100%.
Hell yeah, why not? I mean,
I still got the fundamentals. Like I know where the throttle quadrant is. I know what. Well, assuming I'm not in an Airbus, I know what to do with everything else.
Exactly.
All the other button switches, fuck it. That's just icing on the cake.
I'll probably.
I get the flaps out. I can get the gear down.
I'll apologize to everybody, in the afterlife. I'll be like, sorry guys, I really was a pilot. I just didn't have the confidence to do it. We're all dead now.
I mean, I might still kill us all, but 100%, I want to be riding that train in the front seat.
Hey, more props to you. Is that 1, 2?
Am I here?
Hello.
Man, this is gonna be. We got to figure this out.
Yeah, we got to get better cables.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good way to transition into this Cirrus pilot that killed himself and his whole family here locally.
Hold up. Let's go back to Air India real quick.
Oh, let's. What
do you think? Plane or crew or both?
In a lot of these Eastern cultures, like you can't talk back. Crew resource management is not the same as it is here. Like the captain is God and everybody else is just below him. So I wonder if, first
So you're
officer,
also racist and blaming it on the brown folk.
Well, I'm saying I wonder if first officer just had enough of this guy's shit, and he was like, you know what, Patel, I'm going to cut off both fuel senders, and we're just going to start both of these engines and see how you get out of this, because you think you're the best fucking pilot there ever was. And he just said, boop, and he looked over at his captain and said, what now, bitch? And then they just, boom.
Yeah, I'm leaning crew on that one.
You think crew?
Yeah, I think crew. Because some of the things that they were postulating, like the fuel contamination, like that makes no sense to me. Yes, could you lose both engines with fuel contamination? Sure, but the idea that they would both go out simultaneously, same time, I don't know. I mean, and to have no indication prior to, and they just immediately, boom, that's it. I don't know. Seems a little sus. And then they talked about a dual FADEC failure. I was like, get the fuck out of here. That seems wild to me. Now, I have heard of weird circumstances like the FADEC system in the aircraft I fly. There was a known issue in a very, very limited window and power setting, temp setting, that you could experience power loss, but you wouldn't have like a full rollback of power, but you would have power degradation for a certain small window. And that was FADEC related, but I mean, some of the things that they were talking about it didn't add up. It always sounded like there's got to be something crew related, some crew component here too, but It could be a combination of mechanical and crew.
That's what I was going to say next. Is let's not limit it to only crew in the flight deck. Let's also talk maintenance, because there was rumors saying that aircraft had a whole bunch of equipment that was inoperative.
So you think Mike did it?
100%.
Yeah. So he was trying to find the paper mache shit ball and
yeah, exactly.
Took the flux capacitor out of the old Dreamliner.
That's right. Yeah.
Damn it, Mike.
I know. It's pretty hard to fly a plane when you don't put the wings back on it. Thank God, I don't think I'm going to fly Air India anytime soon.
What was great, too, is I saw, like a couple weeks after that, I saw some flash sales of business class fares to India. I was like, oh, business must be down.
Yeah. First class, only $100.
And I was like, it's going to stay down, because my ass is not going to look at the Taj Mahal and die on the way there.
Hell no.
No, I like some curry, but I can get it here.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know. Have you ever flown it around the world?
Yeah. Not to India.
Yeah. I didn't go to India either. I went to Korea and then Indonesia. Man, spend the money and fly comfortably. It's going to be more 100%. Expensive, but man, that shit is miserable. A 16-hour flight.
Yeah. My longest itinerary was 32, 36 hours to Vietnam.
Wow.
Yeah, I went Raleigh to Chicago, LAX to Tokyo, Haneda, then Haneda to Saigon. And I flew business first all the way to Tokyo. And then I flew economy on JAL from Tokyo to Saigon. And let me tell you, it was a wild experience on that last leg.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was just fucking great all the way up until
then.
Like, I'm just, eating the, great snacks pre-COVID and just getting wasted all the way out to LAX. And I get there, hang out in the American Lounge, shower up, get changed in my jammies from a long haul from LAX to Tokyo. And I have my nice little lie flat pod on a Dreamliner from LAX out to Tokyo, and then hop on another Dreamliner, a JAL Dreamliner, in economy. And first of all, like the immediate change landing in Tokyo was like all of a sudden there's no more white people, and very Spartan English, and it was just getting less and less the further I went down this rabbit hole. Well, get on to the Dreamliner, and all of a sudden like the smells are very different. I mean, I'm not gonna say bad, but just different. And I probably smelled very different to other people.
And they're bold smells.
Yeah, and when they're looking around, and I'm like, oh, I'm like really a giant for the first time in my life. That's kind of cool. But then I sit down in the seat, and it is the worst seat that I've ever been in, because they have these little footrests that are underneath the seat, so you can't stretch out, you can't put your legs out, you can't put a bag in there. And if you're actually using the leg rest, that would kind of fold down from the seat bottom down into, where you would like to keep your feet normally. So if it's stowed, you can't put your feet underneath. And then if you deploy the footrest, it like puts your knees up into your chest. I was like, what the fuck? That was my 30 plus hour zombie experience out across the world. It was a great experience, but it was an eye opener culturally, though.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I went on Korean Air.
Korean Air.
I think it's.
I can't do it. I need to work on that.
Yeah. Korean Air, and the first thing I noticed was they give you slippers in your little bundle. Like you get a pillow and a blanket, and then they give you slippers.
What class are we in? We business first, economy?
I use credit card points, so like I'm in the back of the plane.
We need to talk about points too. I'm all about the points.
Yeah. Well, before I went into a bunch of credit card debt, I was all about the points too. But I did use points to get me to Argentina for free and all the way to Indonesia and back. We went to Bali, and that was all on points. But
Vietnam was points for me too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Korean Air, gotta give it to them. They treat flight attendants like we're still back in the 50s and 60s. Like they were all gorgeous babes in great uniforms, but the slippers. So I'm looking at the slippers and I'm like, the fuck is this for? Is this for when I get home? No. All of the passengers took their shoes off immediately and then they wear the slippers, and I'm like, that's weird. Well, 2 hours into our 16-hour flight, my feet are swelling up because you're up at altitude and all this, and I'm like,
yeah,
the slippers. Buddy. Man, I put those things on. I'm zooming around the airplane. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm like, hell yeah, slippers are the shit. And in the bathroom, they had disposable toothbrushes and toothpaste in there, like a whole cabinet of disposable. So after the meal service, you go brush your teeth. I was like, hell yeah, Korea, you guys are the shit.
Nice, well done. What kind of airplane was this?
Man, I couldn't tell you. I don't know how.
They're one of the few operators I know that they do the 747. Not 747 -8i. So that's, the last iteration of the Queen. I want to ride on that one.
It wasn't. Lufthansa. I know it wasn't that because it didn't have the 2 levels, but it was, 3 rows of seats. So you got like left, center, and right. But shit, I couldn't tell you. I don't know, you airplane nerds. I don't know how you can just look at the sky and be like, that's actually a 747-1 or that's a 737 MAX, not the 737-800. There's
100%.
Guys.
I'm that guy. I'm not that guy to like an Uber extent, but when I pick itineraries to travel, I shop equipment.
Really?
100%.
Interesting.
Yeah, if I have an itinerary that's going to be on a preferred aircraft or something that I haven't flown on before, yeah, I'm adding to that as part of my travel experience, and I get very picky about my seat.
So, any particular reason why just to experience something new, just to say you went on it and see or do you have like certain favorite type of equipment?
Yeah, I mean Dreamliner. The A350's not bad either. I like the new composite aircraft; they're quieter. And you also get lower cabin altitude with more moisture in the air, so jet lag's better.
Okay.
One of the only downsides, though, if you're going to be flying in economy, there's virtually no seats. On the Dreamliner, I don't remember of any. There might be 1 or 2 sections, but it's the economy configuration's 333. I don't like that because it usually just doesn't work with the travel arrangements. It's either more than 3, in terms of the group that I'm with, or it's just like 2. So one thing that's nice if you have like a 777, which is the bulk of it is 343, but there are a couple sections around the front of the bulkhead and then in the tail where it tapers towards the tail, where it goes 242, and those are money spots.
So that's your preferred seat.
Yeah, I just like finding all these little travel hacks that make everything a little bit more fun. So it makes your travel. It's like engaging mentally with the whole travel experience, the whole vacation. But sometimes it goes tits up in a big way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, getting to your destination is definitely a huge part of the vacation, so why not make it, fun?
Yeah, exactly. And also, learning some of there are points hacks that you can do. And, various hacks that you can do to get on board quicker, where you want to keep your bags, stuff like that. And I don't know. I just try to have as much fun with it as possible.
No, I love it. And it's interesting to hear your take on it. So where is your preferred seat on the plane? You like being in the front? You like being in the back, middle? And
cockpit for sure.
Well,
outside.
when you're a passenger.
Yeah. outside of that, then I want to be in a lie flat window seat.
Damn.
I want to be bougie as fuck.
I still have never experienced that. And I recently heard a story about...
Hard to go back.
Could imagine. Yeah, it sounds wonderful. I mean, on my trip to Korea and back, I was very fortunate. Me and this older Asian man, we had the middle seat open, and I had the window, so that was awesome. And then on my
Was he a diddler? Not a diddler.
He was very quiet and very old. So if he was, I did not know.
So he was not an old Asian man accompanying you on this trip?
He was not.
Okay. All right.
He was not my guardian. But my girlfriend and her sister and family and everybody was also on this trip. We all had different flight arrangements because we all used credit card points and whatnot. And I don't know. I think my girlfriend was not on this flight with me, but she told me she had a horrible time because she was in the middle between two bigger people.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
God, no.
I'm comfy. And on the return, I had the entire row to myself. So I laid down on all three seats and I popped a melatonin like 20 minutes before we boarded. So it was perfect. I woke up at JFK and I was like, oh man, I feel rested. Yeah. But I'm curious if you have like a preference in where you sit, like middle, back, front. I always tend to go to the back because I just don't give a shit. And I grew up always flying Southwest.
Yeah, then I'm going to pick an aisle over the wing. Yeah, if I'm just flying with the rest of the cattle, then yeah, I want to be aisle over the wing.
And is that for like quicker emergency exits or just...
If it's a long flight, if it's a short flight, so we'll say 2 hours and under, then I want to be as close to the front door as possible because I want to get off the airplane immediately. I don't want to wait around and do the fucking overhead bin shuffle with everybody and then elbows into the head while everybody's trying to do all that and queue up. No, I don't want to. I just want to get off the airplane as soon as possible because odds are I might even have a connection that, having those extra couple minutes are going to be great because everybody's flying at capacity and we're delayed for everything anymore. But yeah, if it's long haul and economy, then I definitely want to be over the wing because it's going to be more stable. It's going to be a better ride. One of the downsides, though, that's also where you're going to have the majority of people, so you're not going to have any privacy or space. Now, if you have a low occupancy or lower occupancy flight, I would try and book something towards the rear, get that middle row in the rear, and you might end up with the whole thing yourself.
I love it. It's because my whole life we grew up flying Southwest. So back in the day, before even you could get your boarding pass on your phone, you would just get there and they would hand you this like laminated number. And they're like, okay, and when you get on the plane, you just sit in any seat. Now, unfortunately, they recently decided to do away with this. And I've heard from flight attendants at that airline, they are ecstatic. They're so happy that they're doing away with that policy because everybody else comes from, assigned seating and then they lose their mind when they get on Southwest. They don't understand. They're like, wait, where was it? So I've always been trained, just get on the plane, walk somewhere near the last third, sit your ass down, and I just wait. I'm one of the few people who don't stand up immediately the minute that we reach the gate bridge. I stay seated.
Yes.
It's not going to get you off the plane any fucking faster if you stand up and you have your head tilted like this because you got to, wait for grandma who's 3 rows ahead of you, and we got to get some guy to help her get her bag out of the baggage claim like you just said.
Pro tip, though, I want to circle back to the Asian footwear on your Korean air flight. Compression socks, knee-high compression socks really helps with the swelling. That was a game changer, especially as I've entered my late 30s.
Yeah, but if you're a young man and you're trying to talk up the ladies on your flight, good luck, dude. That is the worst dad swag.
That's true, but I mean that ship sailed a long time ago.
There you go.
I've fully embraced where I'm at in life, and comfort and what's prudent is king.
Yes, I do agree with you. This podcast is sponsored by Neck Pillow. We do have a ad read by Neck Pillow.
Here's another message from our sponsor, Neck Pillow. Are you tired of how uncomfortable airplane seats are? Do you struggle to fall asleep while flying, even though you're exhausted? Well, check out the Neck Pillow. Our patented soft, squishy neck pillow is guaranteed to make you only slightly more comfortable, while also making you look like an idiot. Yes, we know they're overpriced, but we know you're stupid enough to buy it anyway. So, don't forget to pack your neck pillow.
What are your thoughts on Neck Pillow? Are you a fan? Not a fan?
You know, I take one just in case, but I've never found them to work well for me. If I can lean up against a window, that I can make that work. But I think something about my neck and face is just too fat to work with a neck pillow.
I'm not a big fan of them either. Everybody in my family, they have like multiple neck pillows, and I've been given one for Christmas. I've tried it out. I think you look like a baboon when you walk through the airport and it's around your neck.
Oh, no. I keep mine thoroughly stored in my bag. I deploy for emergency use only. But even then, I mean, I feel like a damn turtle that somebody shoved that head halfway back into the shell.
100%. I don't know, I don't know what happened to Sky Mall magazine. I wish they would bring that back.
What a good throwback.
I loved looking through that. And
That's
I
some
remember
sharper image bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Everything. The one product that I do remember on there, it was like this inflatable pillow that this fat-ass, old, bald, white man created. And it was, imagine like a gigantic cube that was inflatable, and you would rest it on the tray table, and you could lean forward and just fall asleep into it. Now, it looked like the perfect product to actually help you fall asleep on a plane, but I never bought one because I did not have money when I was 10 years old flipping through Sky Mall.
But I would be so pissed if I got landlocked by that son of a bitch with his goddamn air pillow.
Yeah.
And I needed to get up and take a leak.
He just deflated that bitch.
Over there. Oh, my God.
That's a good point. I never even thought about that.
I would hate that motherfucker so much. I'd figure out a way to get him back.
So, hey, shout out to anybody from Sky Mall that's listening. If you guys want to bring back the magazine, we will give you a free sponsorship. We'll put the word out for you.
Yeah, maybe we should try and buy the rights to Sky Mall.
Heck yeah.
Bring it back.
It was the best. I would flip through that thing all the time. All the airlines going away from their magazines, it pisses me off. Like, I'd always flip to the Sudoku and the word cross. Words. What am I trying to say?
Sudoku?
The Sudoku and it's crossword. It's called a crossword
that's right.
puzzle. Yeah. I would always do those. What the hell? Why are y'all getting rid of your magazines? This is stupid. Everybody now, we just have screens and we just watch fucking, I don't know, Big Bang Theory on the screen,
I don't even want to watch that at home. Sure shit don't want to watch it on an airplane.
Hell no.
Yeah. These days, I just listen to senseless podcasts.
Yeah, while you fly.
Shameless plug. No.
Let's talk about watching movies on a plane.
I sometimes look forward to this, but what are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I love, if I have a long flight and they got a pretty good catalog and it's something that I hadn't seen before and I probably wouldn't sit down to watch, but you're like, I got nowhere to go. So, hey, why don't I check out this movie? I'll watch it. But
yeah,
movies with spicy sex scenes on a plane.
I don't know that I've been down that road before.
Oh, man. Sometimes, you don't know what you're getting into. And then all of a sudden you're watching this shit. And then, I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I get distracted and I'm watching the movie.
I'm somebody else's.
Yeah, I'm watching my movie, but I'm also watching.
You're like, what does 37A want to watch?
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. And so, if all of a sudden,
they're a comic book movie kind of person. All right, didn't see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if all of a sudden you just see like tits flash on their screen, obviously you're gonna look at it, and then you just judge that guy so hard. Yeah. You're like, the fuck is this guy watching on this plane? And you're like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't know.
Yeah.
They should give you a warning on that.
Yeah, and I tend to go towards gratuitous violence. That's my go-to, because there's you don't have the awkward sex scene thing with everybody around you, and because it's so violent, you don't have anybody wanting to engage with you. They're like, I don't know about this guy. Let's just leave him alone. Maybe.
That is so smart.
Maybe I'm not even watching, but I just turn it on anyway. I'm like, oh yeah, 300, yeah. We're gonna watch a bunch of Persians get fucked up. Yeah.
And then you just fall asleep
John Wick.
so soundly to the sound of just horrible violence, and people are like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah.
I love it.
And because I'm white, they don't think I'm a terrorist, so that's good. We should definitely interview some Middle Eastern pilots just to see how, if they've ever been confused with any of the 9/11 terrorists or
I know one
lumped into that crowd.
I know one friend really well. He is of Arab descent. He practices the Muslim faith, and they have
Ramadan?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So Muslims celebrate Ramadan, and they cannot eat or drink while the sun is up. So what a lot of them do is they wake up early.
They don't move to Alaska where it's dark for 23 hours out of the day.
Yeah, there you go. Then life's
That's
easy.
what I do.
I know, right? So a lot of them, what they do is they'll wake up before sun up, and they'll eat and drink, and then they wait until the sun goes down, and then it's like a big celebration with family. But this buddy of mine,
I'd be so pissed if Ramadan happens during the summer. I hope it doesn't.
it did.
God.
It did last year, and he was building flight hours with me, and we're out flying around in his plane, a little 100 horsepower,
It's not the time to have low blood sugar.
Right, dying in the heat. And I was just thinking about him the other day, and I was like, I don't know if you just do that at the airlines, man. Like, we need your brain to be 100%.
Yeah.
I like that you're sticking to your culture and your faith, but man, drink some water.
But I want to ask some questions now.
All right, we'll get them on the pod.
Yeah.
All right. This podcast is sponsored by Fans.
Fans.com.
Are you fat, hot, and sweaty? Well, we have the product for you.
Yeah, if we haven't bought them all ourselves.
All right, goodbye, everyone.
Clear to land, wind 280 at 7 knots.